So, went out today and decided to see Disclosure Day. It wasn't bad. Wasn't super great, but it wasn't bad. It definitely filled an afternoon. The movie's about a shady kind of a government organization. They work hand in hand with the government. I guess this is what people would call the dark government. Um, it's kind of the government, but it wasn't. They have been hiding the existence of extraterrestrials for decades, at least as far back as Roswell. Um, I believe it was further back than that. Uh, the organization has complete control and autonomy over what happens with the aliens, their craft, the whole shebang. There's a point where Nixon takes a guest and he shows them the aliens, which looking at it, they say he was a very popular actor from the era. It looked like it may have been Jackie Gleason in their universe. So Jackie Gleason sees the aliens and he finds out about it, and the group decides, oh, we can't have the president showing this anymore. I mean, 8 years at tops, he's going to be a civilian again, so we can't do that. Um, there were a couple of things that happened in the movie that I didn't dig. The one that sticks out the most was the aliens came to Earth. Some of them crash landed, some of them just came, but they came to Earth and they had this magic wand. They had this stick like thing that they could use, well, that humans could use, certain humans, and I guess sort of dreamwalk a la Marvel into another person's mind. Talk to that person can see you, have a conversation with them, the whole shebang, and you could possibly even force them to do stuff. So, say your significant other is out and about and you're not sure where they're at, you can grab that magic glow rod, hold it in your hand, get into their mind, and not only can you talk to them if you want it, not only can they see you if you wish, but you can see through their eyes. You know what they're doing. You can feel what they feel. One lady tried to get the guy out of her head. She was fighting it, so she stabbed herself in the hand, and it forced him out. Now he picked up the magic glow rod and jumped back in again, but they feel what the person feels. So you could jump in somebody's mind and just kind of look around and say, oh, okay, yeah, Pam is over at Fred's house. That's what I thought. Pam. So you could do that. You could look through the mind of a bank teller and get the code to the bank, to the vault. You could do that. And then get inside the guard and make the guard open up the vault or whatever. You could control people is what I'm saying. And again, you can see through them and you can feel what they feel. A guy jumps into a woman's body who is at a hotel with her boyfriend, and he's very lucky that they will both asleep, or he would have mind walked into a terrible situation. He'd been traumatized forever. But this magic stick, it could do all kinds of things. And I'm thinking, how'd they catch the aliens if they had this magic stick? You know? It would be like if you went back in time and you were going to rescue some other people who had gone back in time and they had rifles. And you say, oh my goodness, there's cavemen. And look, he's got a rifle and he's using it like a club and he beats people over the head with it. He is a serious threat compared to the other cavemen because he's got this great big piece of metal that he can smack you with. But that's not the actual use for it. it can do so much more. They even say that in the movie. They say, that thing isn't just a magic wand you can be waving around because it can do so much more. And I'm thinking, that makes sense, because the aliens probably didn't teach them how to use it. They probably just figured it out. So they're using it like a caveman with a rifle. And even with their limited knowledge, they can fend off other humans. In fact, one person defeats a room full of trained soldiers using the magic glow rod. My point is, when the aliens crash landed here and the humans essentially took them prisoner, any ones that survived, the ones that didn't die, why didn't they use the magic glow rod and be like, and control them and tell them they're gone about your business? You can't see me. I don't know why they didn't do that. The alien, they show an alien that they're going to do an autopsy on. It's still alive when they start that. They show an alien that they want to check him out and check out his insides and everything. And he's slap fighting with him. He's just like, leave me alone, stop it. And I'm thinking, where's your magic glow rod? When you got out of the ship, you didn't bring that with you? And all of the space, Star Wars, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Battlestar Galactica, any movie where we're aliens, you could take a movie and put people in space. When they leave the ship, they usually have, a weapon with them, a lightsaber, a blaster, something, phasers. They got weapons with them because you don't know what's outside that door. The aliens come to Earth, and I guess they just had flowers or something. I don't know what was up with that. Why didn't they protect themselves? That's a question. Let's talk about it in the comments. Why didn't they protect themselves? And they gave powers, superhuman abilities, to at least 2 humans. They had been here for like 40 years, 40, 50 years, maybe 60 years. They waited until like 20-something, 30-something years ago to mind zap some humans and give them superpowers. Why didn't they do that when they originally got captured? And why didn't they give themselves superpowers? Why didn't Alien 1 give Alien 2 superpowers? Or did they come to Earth with superpowers? All Superman type? All Viltrumite type? Did they? Maybe. Who knows? But they definitely could give superpowers. And that didn't help them. It didn't help them at all. There's a scene where a guy is talking on the phone and he's saying things and he's like, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, a crop circle appears around him. They never explain that. They never go back to it. He's standing there and he's just looking and it's a crop circle. And then he just walks away. And it's just like whoosh, like magic. It just formed around him, getting bigger and bigger. And he looked at it. I guess crop circles always happen with that dude. I don't know. But if I'm standing there in a field of wheat and the wheat just starts crumbling and becomes a gigantic crop circle, they didn't say if it was a message. They didn't say that he had done it. They didn't say nobody was trying to contact him. He's just standing there on the phone, and then poof, there's a crop circle. And then he just walked out of it. He looked at it, and then he was like, crop circle. And then he just walked out of it. I don't even know why that was in the movie. I don't even know what that was all about. This movie had a lot of tropes. Had a lot of movie tropes. They had a car chase. They had a guy that had to rescue the damsel in distress. They had the damsel that rescues the guy. Reverse trope. They had a near miss. Oh no, we're gonna die. Last second, 5, 4, 3, 2. You just made it. They had a scene like that where at the last possible second, and then they don't show you, It's like something happens, and you're like, oh my gosh, did they make it? And it like pauses for a couple seconds, and then they show you that they made it. Trope. And you knew they made it because these were the stars of the show. This happens like not even halfway through the movie, and you're like, I'm pretty sure they made it. They're not gonna kill off, Training Day. They killed off Lorenzo Denzel at the end of the movie. They couldn't have killed him off in the first 8 minutes. What would they have done with the rest of the movie? Same thing. They had the heroes, and something's happened. You're like, oh my gosh, are they gonna die? Of course not. You got 35, 45 minutes of movie left. So I wasn't a fan of that. Now the acting was very good. The acting was solid. And I liked the villain. But then things kept happening in the movie. People were doing things like if I'm sitting here and I'm making this video and my door suddenly opens and a lion walks in and stands up and starts smoking a cigarette, their reaction to something like that was completely different. My reaction would be like, is that a lion? Or I would jump through the window because it's a lion. Their reaction would have been something like, so where'd you get those cigarettes? And I'm like, the reaction to things that was happening, seemed out of character for a person. And it wasn't like they were aliens hidden inside of human bodies. These was regular people. They were just acting odd. Through the whole movie, everybody was reacting oddly to everything. I would say that the premise was a little soft. The acting was on point. But these are actors who, they gave them the script, they were like, I can do it. But if you went back a step and went to the writer and was like, what you got? You'd look at it and be like, bro, come on. I mean, they're professional. They're going to make it work. But, I mean, this is what you're giving me? I didn't like the story. And the entire thing about Disclosure Day was the actual disclosure was 10 minutes of the movie. It was like a 2.5 hour movie. 10 minutes of it was actual disclosure. The rest of it was running around, really. Running around. This dude that works for this group has worked for them for at least 1.5 years. And he saw a video that broke his heart, I guess. And he decided he was going to he made the personal decision after seeing the video that he decided that the rest of the world should know what's going on. He was going to disclose the information to the rest of the world. But that 1.5 years he was working there, he thought it was not his business to tell. This multi-billion-dollar company has got this secret, and they've got reasons for keeping it to themselves. But, Tuesday I went to work and just decided, nah. And I was like, that's crazy, man. Even the first person that he tells what's going on, they even say, who told you that you could do that? You can't do that. Giving away all of the secrets. Well, you work at KFC, and, the colonel walks in and the paper drops out of his pocket, and you pick it up, and it's the 23 ingredients. You can't just be like, oh, I got this secret. I think I'm gonna share it with the world. That ain't your secret. I'm gonna give it to the world. And there's one guy is given the ability to understand the aliens through math. He can translate it, and it just seems regular to him, like English. A woman is given the ability to understand what he's translating. It reminded me of the Book of Mormon, and I'm not crapping on nobody's religion, believe me. But it reminded me of the story that a Mormon told me about their religion. A gentleman was given a visit by angels. And angels said that we're going to teach you the Book of Mormon. We're going to teach you this Bible that we've got here in America for you. And he's like, all right. And the Bible was presented to him in angelic language. And they showed him how to translate it to English. And he rewrote it in English. I'm thinking, why didn't they just bring it to him in English? Or why didn't they, Dr. Spock zap the knowledge into his head or something like that? It's an angel. It spoke to him in English. It could have just said, hey man, thou shalt not kill. That's a good one. Thou shalt not steal. Put that down. Write that down too. They could have just told him. But they brought him a book that they had to translate into English. Why did the aliens have a dude that could translate their language into like numeric information that the woman could understand and then give to the world? Why didn't they just learn English? I got a friend, when we were in school together, we were in like elementary school. He had come here from Korea. He was just learning English. Today, I think he speaks 3 languages, English, Korean, and I think he speaks German or French or something. But he learned it in the course of a human life with just a human brain. How come they couldn't learn English? Or if they can give him the ability to understand their language, seems like they could understand his. Or why didn't they just take him and say, hey, this is our language to translate it, but don't translate it into math, translate it into English, and then go talk to people. I don't know. There was a lot of things that happened in this movie that made me just go, It's a sci-fi movie. There's aliens, there's all kinds of stuff, but there were certain levels of it that just were difficult to believe because from the premise of the movie, it didn't make sense. From the way the movie was going, it didn't make sense to me. If you were watching Star Wars and everybody was fighting with lightsabers and using the Force and Force choking people, and then Batman just showed up and started hitting people in the head with batarangs, you'd be like, is this supposed to happen? And then Indiana Jones came out dun, 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 with his whip and stuff. You'd be like, the movie seems like it's taking a turn. That's how I felt there. It didn't seem like it was following its own logic. That's how I felt. More importantly, how did you feel about it? Did you see the movie? I would give Disclosure Day. It's going to be a big movie because of who's behind it, who's in it, the money, and it's probably going to be a big movie. But it felt to me like they were looking for another Close Encounters or another gigantic space aliens, humans meet the aliens for the first time, boo, 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 that kind of a thing. They looked like they were looking for something with that kind of spectacle. And it just felt like it missed. It felt like they were trying really hard. You know what it was like? I went to a house party with a friend who was normally kind of quiet. He saw a girl he liked, and he was over-presenting himself. He was loud, and he was boisterous, and he was telling jokes, and he was laughing at his own jokes, and he even slapped his leg. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, you are trying too hard. This movie brought me to that moment. It was big. It was loud. It just felt like it might have been trying too hard. So I would give Disclosure Day 7 bags of popcorn. It's going to be big. There's no way around that. I did not dig it, but I know where they were headed, and I got an idea where it's going. 7 bags of popcorn. Because that's what I think about that. More importantly, what do you think about that? Now that you had a chance to look at the video, let's talk about it some more in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. and like